Hey, what's up, guys? Eyes Open in California here. So today is Thursday, February 24th, 2022. And last night I had three separate dreams. So I had a dream, I woke up, went back to sleep, had a dream, woke up, went back to sleep, had another dream. I had three dreams last night, and I want to tell you about them because they're all connected. So the first dream, I was at a theme park over here in the Bay Area named Great America. So I'm at Great America and I'm watching a roller coaster. I'm standing in line for a roller coaster, and the roller coaster kind of shows up, and I'm having this conversation with somebody, and I'm telling them that the best cart was the seventh cart from the front, the seventh cart, and I knew that the roller coaster had 21 carts. So the roller coaster pulls up, it's got 21 carts, and we needed to sit on number 7, right? This detail is going to make sense later. So that was one detail. The next detail of the dream, I don't know what I was doing, to be honest with you. I was in a room speaking to my supervisor of whatever it was that we were doing. I don't know what we were into. And my supervisor was a woman, and I was speaking to her, and she and I had like a really cool relationship. And I handed her a piece of paper, and this piece of paper was some sort of a schedule of some sort. And I don't remember anything about it other than this. There was a thing, it was the schedule for the month of September. And it said, here's the schedule for the month of September. Make sure you people are aware that, and the rest was like kind of blurred out. It was all blurry. I can't remember what that was, but here's a detail. I tried, after she took that paper from me and she read it, she was like, okay, that makes sense. She had a Sharpie pen sitting next to her on the desk. And I reached out, and just pretend this is a Sharpie. I reached out and I grabbed the pen and I started sliding it. She goes, what are you doing? I said, that's my pen. And she put her hand on it. She said, not no more. And I was like, well, that was kind of weird. Pretty much like strong-armed robbed me for a freaking pen. Like, what's that all about? So anyways, I left. And I went back to these dormitories. I guess like all the workers, we all worked, or we all lived in some kind of dormitory. There were like individual rooms. It wasn't like a big squad bay. There were like individual rooms that housed a few people in them, like 2 or 3 people in them. And when I was walking down the hallway, I was like, man, it's hot in here. So I turned the thermostat down. I turned it down like 1 or 2 degrees. I think it was just 1 degree. I turned it down 1 degree. And I went into my room, and there my roommates were. And we were just talking. And then the supervisor, I don't know if this was the next day or whatever, the supervisor comes by, knocking on everybody's door. I was very, very upset about it. She said, who turned down the thermostat 1 degree? Who's going to pay for this? And I said, I turned it down 1 degree. It was really hot in here. And I said, maybe we can all chip in and pay for it. And she covered her head like this, and she was really going through it over that 1 degree difference. So anyways, that's the end of the dream. I know this seems like, who cares? But the first part of the dream, it's actually very significant. It didn't even dawn on me until just a few moments ago as I started recording. So the first part about the roller coaster and sitting on the 7th cart out of 21, that was God handing me a scripture. And it didn't dawn on me until I started recording this video. I've done this a few times now. Now I know what that means. And I'll show you here at the end. The part about the thermostat and about my supervisor fighting over a pen, I believe it's pointing at economic hardship in the month of September. That's what I personally believe. I believe that's what it meant. It's enough for her to fight over a freaking pen. And it was enough for her to chastise me over changing the thermostat 1 degree. So there's going to be some kind of financial woes going on in the month of September. That's what I'm getting from this. So anyways, I woke up from that dream and I was like, that was bizarre. I didn't know what to make of any of those details until actually just a few moments ago. So I go back to sleep. Now, when I go back to sleep, I have this next dream. The next dream goes like this. I don't know what happened or what was going on, but everybody seemed to be eating in a community style dining arrangement, as if like everybody just brought what they could bring to the table. And I'm at this one gentleman's house, and it's a big house. I don't know if it's a house or a facility. I don't know what it was, but we're on the second story. It's like a 2-story building, and we're up on top, and I'm talking to this gentleman, and he says, "Hey, I need you to go down into the garage, and there's like a pallet or two in the garage. I need you to bring them so we can cook." And I said, "Okay, yeah, you got it." And I went downstairs, and as I'm approaching this garage, I'm looking. The downstairs was completely empty. There was like no furniture there, and I'm like, "Well, this downstairs is kind of creepy." So I start walking to this garage, and I'm looking down this hallway into the garage, and I see 2 pallets or 1 pallet sitting right dead center in the middle of the garage, and there is like nothing else in the whole bottom story. And I'm like, why would they have this 1 pallet just sitting down here by itself? Like, it don't make no sense. And as I start getting closer, I'm like, it almost seems like I'm getting set up right now to get jumped. Right. And if you've ever been jumped, it sucks, but you can feel it before it happens, right? Kind of like the barometric pressure changes, and you're like, all right, well, let's see how we do on this one. But anyways, so I go into this garage, and I put my hands on the pallet. And as soon as I touched the pallet, people just came out of the woodworks, and they were going to attack me. And the one dude said, "Hey, nice of you to get the firewood for us to cook you." And I was like, "What?" And he had like a frying pan or something. He tried to hit me with it, and I blocked it. I elbowed him or something, like just one move. And I was fighting with this dude, like fighting for they're gonna eat me. And I'm fighting with this dude, and I took his frying pan, and I extinguished his life force with the frying pan. And as soon as I whacked him for the last time with it, and it was a cast iron heavy frying pan. And I'm not glorifying this at all. I'm saying, like, I was terrified. So I extinguished his life force, and then a man came into the room who seemed to be their leader, and he said, "That's enough. We have our dinner for the night." And I looked at him, and I was like, "What's going on?" So everybody leaves. They grab him, and I didn't even stay around for dinner. The scene changes after that, and that must be a few days later, I'm at a different person's house. Somebody else is hosting the dinner. And at this dinner, I took a pot of beans that had stewed tomatoes in it. And I think it had tomato sauce in it. But I had brought a pot of beans to this party to bring the protein. So I give the host dude and his helpers the food, and they're like, "Oh, hey, cool." So I'm talking to the host gentleman on the porch, and it was a wide porch, and it was long, and they don't really have those like that in California. I somehow got the impression I was back east somewhere. I don't know where I was, but I had a big porch. We don't have porches like that over here. So anyways, I'm talking to the host on his front porch, and I'm telling him, "This is a really, really great party you got going on here." And he was like, "Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, we all got to chip in as a community." And I said, "Yeah, I heard that." And I said, "Man, times are tough." And I knew in the dream that food was scarce, and everybody was eating as a community because it was the only way to ensure a full meal. So people were just bringing whatever they could, just random items, right? So I'm talking to him, and then that one dude who was the leader of that cannibal house, he walks out of this other dude's house. The screen door opens, he comes out, and he was like, "Hey, dinner's almost done." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Oh, snap. Oh, no, he's going to recognize me." And he started going back, and he was going to walk inside the house. And he goes, "Hey, have I met you before?" And I was like, "No, I don't think you have." And he was like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's so-and-so." And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up? My name is, whatever." And he was talking to me, and he goes, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I left the host. I said, "Hey, excuse me." He was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I left the host of that party, and I walked with the leader of the cannibals, who, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to call him Hannibal the Cannibal. So I'm walking away with Hannibal the Cannibal. And I told him like this. I said, "Nobody here at this party knows what you're up to. And nobody has to know what you're up to. If you let me leave right now, you will never see me again. And whatever you do with these people is your business. I will be none the wiser. I'll never find out, and you will never see me again. Just basically give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps to the door and I'm out. And he was like, and you're just gonna leave just like that? And I said, yep, just like that. And so let me describe this porch. This porch was very long. Imagine the entry door is right in the dead center of the porch. This conversation happened to the left side of the doorway. But over on the right side, on the far right side, a gunman showed up with a pistol. I knew that he had a pistol on his hip. And he shows up and he was covering me with his weapon down at his hip in the dark. It was nighttime. And I knew that if I started fighting with Hannibal the Cannibal, that his gunman was going to shoot me. And so I just tried to play it cool. And I said, look, you let me leave and you will never see me again. Whatever it is that you do with these people, that's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with me. Just let me leave. And I was by myself. My family wasn't there. So he said, and you're not gonna nothing? I said, nothing. It's like it never happened. And he said, okay, I could deal with that. So he let me leave. And as soon as I left, they all went in the house and I saw him, he did something creepy, like he put his arm around the host of the party and started walking in like they were best buddies. And I was like, man. So then the next scene is I'm standing above that Hannibal the Cannibal dude, the leader. I'm standing above his body. I had killed him. I came back and I had killed him. I don't know how I killed him. I don't know what method I used to kill him, but it doesn't matter. I neutralized that threat, and then I woke up, and I was like, "What in the world?" That's like my second cannibal dream, and since this year began, I believe. And I'm just like what is going on with this? What is going on with this theme? And I was sitting there trying to gather my thoughts. I was disturbed. I was like, I just killed 2 people in my dream that were trying to eat people. So anyways, I woke up, I was disturbed, and I was just staring at my ceiling in the dark for a long while, trying to just gather my thoughts and figure out like what in the world just happened. So then I went back to sleep. And now I have the third dream. In the third dream, I'm walking down this long alley, and there's a whole bunch of homeless people. There's like a very, very high, there's a lot of homeless people. And I have this cart. It wasn't a shopping cart. It was more like a cart you would see at Home Depot or Lowe's. It was like a heavy duty cart. And there was somebody who pushed it, and he pushed us really far, like really, really far on this. He said, get in the cart. And he pushed us. And we traveled a very, very, very far way until we ended up by my old work. And there was a bunch of homeless people. There was a high population of homeless people. And they were looking at my cart because they wanted it. They wanted to steal my cart. And the scene changes. And now I'm looking at what kind of a vehicle was it? It seemed like it was a B-class vehicle that had some kind of an open container on it. And it had some hydraulic ram lift thing in the front with a basket in it. And it would like dump the basket into its hopper, it would dump the basket into the dump body. And there was a woman driving it, and she was cleaning up homeless camps. And she had told me that they no longer have to give any kind of warning. They no longer have to do anything. They just scoop. And it kind of reminds me of that movie Soylent Green. And if you remember how Soylent Green ended, Soylent Green is people.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent Green is people. We gotta stop them somehow.
But anyways, Then I woke up from that dream. Okay, so those were the three dreams that I had last night, and they actually do all fit together. So now let's put these puzzle pieces together. The first dream, I was at a theme park and a roller coaster stopped in front of me. There was 21 carts on it, and I was supposed to sit on cart number 7, right? The second dream was about cannibalism. And the third dream was about economic hardship of some sort. So now let's put them together. Let me share my screen. I didn't even know what that first dream meant until just a few moments ago. So let me share my screen. I'll show you. That 21 cart coaster, and I was supposed to sit on number 7. It was a reference to Jeremiah 7:21. So here's Jeremiah 7:21. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. This is what Jeremiah 7:21 says. So I'm going to read this one more time, but this time I'm going to go all the way down from Jeremiah 7:21 to Jeremiah 7:24. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing I commanded them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. This is Jeremiah 7:21 through 24. But I'm trying to highlight this. 7:21, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. This is not what this scripture actually said. This has been manipulated. This is the Gospel of the Holy 12, lection 33. Is it not written in the prophets, put your blood sacrifices to your burnt offerings and away with them, and cease ye from the eating of flesh? For I spake not to your fathers, nor commanded them when I brought them out of Egypt concerning these things, but this thing I commanded them, obey my voice and walk in the ways that I have commanded you, and ye shall be my people, and it shall be well with you. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear. This is what the Lord said. The Lord did not say, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. The Lord said, put your blood sacrifices to your burnt offerings and away with them, and cease ye from eating flesh. This is what the Lord said. The Bible has been manipulated, people. Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. We were commanded on the 6th day of creation, the day mankind was created, we were commanded to be vegetarian, right? And since we're talking about sacrifices, let me just read Isaiah 1. I'm going somewhere with this. I need you to hear what I'm saying. This is very important. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 11. And I'm going to read down to probably like 18 or something. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hands, to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblation. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doing from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless, and plead for the widow. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. The Lord never wanted sacrifice. The Lord wanted obedience. So this is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 28, verse 3. This is the Lord speaking. Ye believe that Moses indeed commanded such creatures to be slain and offered in sacrifice and eaten. And so do ye in the temple. But behold, a greater than Moses is herein, and he cometh to put away the bloody sacrifices of the law and the feasts on them, and to restore you to the pure oblation and unbloody sacrifice, as in the beginning, even the grains and fruits of the earth. Of that which ye offer unto God in purity shall ye eat, but of that which ye offer not in purity shall ye not eat. For the hour cometh when your sacrifice and feasts of blood shall cease, and ye shall worship God with a holy worship and a pure oblation. So that is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 28. And now let me read one more thing to you. So here is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 21, verse 8. He also said, I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood. And if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you, even as it came to your fathers in the wilderness, who lusted for flesh, and they eat to their content, and were filled with rottenness, and the plague consumed them. And I say unto you, though ye be gathered together in my bosom, if ye keep not my commandments, I will cast you forth. For if ye keep not the lesser mysteries, who shall give you the greater? If you're not picking up what I'm putting down here, you're supposed to be vegetarian. This right here, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you, even as it came to your fathers in the wilderness, who lusted for flesh, and they eat to their content, and were filled with rottenness, and the plague consumed them. Now, everybody knows that that reference right there is to Numbers 11. But there's a book out there called the Book of Jasher, which was mentioned twice in the Bible, and nobody bothered to read it. Well, I did. And in the Book of Jasher, in chapter 83, it correlates with Numbers 11. Go back and read Numbers 11 in its entirety, and read the Book of Jasher, chapter 83 in its entirety. And you will see it's not what the church is teaching people. The church was teaching people that the Lord fed people with quail, and everything was hunky-dory. It was not hunky-dory. Those who ate the quail were smote because they ate the quail. Read the entire story. You're not supposed to eat meat. Goes back to this, Genesis 1:29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. You're supposed to be vegetarian. So this is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 28, verse 3. This is the Lord speaking. Ye believe that Moses indeed commanded such creatures to be slain and offered in sacrifice and eaten. And so do ye in the temple. But behold, a greater than Moses is herein, and he cometh to put away the bloody sacrifices of the law and the feasts on them, and to restore you to the pure oblation and unbloody sacrifice, as in the beginning, even the grains and fruits of the earth. Of that which ye offer unto God in purity shall ye eat, but of that which ye offer not in purity shall ye not eat. For the hour cometh when your sacrifice and feasts of blood shall cease, and ye shall worship God with a holy worship and a pure oblation. So that is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 28. These dreams meant this, for me to tell you to stop eating meat. And here's the reason why. Number one, the rapture banquet, the menu is vegetarian. If you haven't seen the rapture banquet, you don't know what I'm talking about. I've been shown the rapture banquet many, many, many times. The menu is vegetarian. If you want to make the rapture, you have to be vegetarian. It's that simple. You're not going to go there and ask, where's the beef? That's demonic. You're not supposed to eat meat. And number two, if you follow the commanded diet, you won't be bamboozled into eating people. How do you know where this meat comes from that you're eating? Do you understand? With every day that passes by, We're getting one day closer to the Great Tribulation. With every day that passes by, we're getting closer and closer to the worst 7 years that has ever been and will ever be in mankind's history. And people are going to eat people. That's going to be just like it says in Jeremiah 19. People are going to be eating people. You're not going to get caught up in that trap if you would go back to the commanded diet, which is vegetarian. If you want your protein, eat beans, eat eggs. I'm not saying be vegan, I'm saying be vegetarian. Beans and eggs give you all the protein you need, and it's more soluble, it's more usable quickly than eating meat. Meat just rots in you, it makes you sick. That's why everybody's sick. And that's why everybody has all these health issues. They go to the doctor and they want the doctor to give them a pill to be healthy. The doctor's like, I can't give you a pill that's going to undo everything you do when you're eating. Stop eating meat. You weren't commanded to eat meat. It's very important. If you don't believe me, the Great Tribulation is an option. People are choosing to go into Great Tribulation because they're refusing the true commandments of God. If you want to be raptured, you have to be vegetarian. The rapture banquet, the menu, it's vegetarian. There's not going to be any carnivores at that table. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? And when you actually get back to the commanded diet, you're not going to accidentally eat people. It's not going to happen. I could never accidentally eat a person because I don't eat meat. It's not in my commanded diet. I understand full well what the Lord was saying. How many times did the prophets scream this at people to stop eating meat? But these scriptures have been twisted because people twisted them because of their own interests. They wanted to continue barbecuing. It's not in our commanded diet. Anyways, it's very important. It is very important that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. You will miss the rapture if you eat meat. Only vegetarians are going to make the rapture. You need to understand what I'm saying. And all this cannibalism stuff, God is going to allow people to eat each other. If you are willing to break the commanded diet, God is going to allow somebody to eat you. Do you get what I'm saying? The same way as you're eating the other members of God's creation, the other animals, you're going to be on the menu. That's how this works. Here, look, let me share my screen one more time. This video is going to be long, but you know what? This is very important. Let's go over to Jeremiah 19, and I'll show you. Jeremiah 19. The broken jar. Thus saith the Lord, go and get the potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients of the people, and of the ancients of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee, and say, hear the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and which whoever heareth, his ears shall tingle, because they have forsaken me. They have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. And they have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives. And their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth. And I will make this city desolate and a hissing. Everyone that passes thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straiten them. Then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee, and shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, even so will I break this people in this city, as one breaketh the potter's vessel, that cannot be made whole again, and they shall bury them in Tophet, till there be no place to bury. Thus will I do unto this place, saith the Lord, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Tophet. The Lord has no problem whatsoever. People don't keep the commandments. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If people don't keep the commandments, just the same way as you put a steak in front of you on a plate during the Great Tribulation, people are going to be that steak on people's plates. And the Lord's not going to think twice about it. The Lord has no issue whatsoever with you eating somebody else, because you obviously don't belong to the Lord, right? If you will enter into life, keep the commandments. The commanded diet is vegetarian. It's very important. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It kind of applies here, but you're going to be the next steak during the tribulation. Human meat is going to be on people's plates. The only way to avoid this is to be in spirit and in truth. 90% of the body of Christ is going to be left behind at the rapture. The rapture is a reward. The church is selling people a lot of snake oil. The things that they're teaching aren't true. Only 10% of the body of Christ are going to make the rapture out of here. And that 10% are the 10% that watch my end times playlist, and they stop eating meat, and they stop speaking to demons when they're praying. These are some of the biggest things. I'm just telling you, with every passing day, we're getting closer and closer. We're getting closer and closer to the beginning of the end. It has already started. And I know this video started off a dream video, and now it's turning into a sermon. But I am telling you, you have to be vegetarian. You can't accidentally eat a human being if you stick to the commanded diet. So that's what I dreamt last night. Do with that information what you must, unless you feel compelled to comment something opposing what I'm telling you. What I am telling you is the truth. If you want to argue with me about that, you want to volunteer yourself to go through the Great Tribulation, that's your problem. I just showed you the expectation of the Lord. The Lord expects you to follow his commandments. If you think you're saved by a thing called grace, best of luck to you. Because you know what? Paul was not an apostle. He was a fraud. That's how much trouble everybody is in. Believe me when I say this, you need to watch my end times playlist. I can help you get out of this place. Don't argue with me. I'm telling you, it's close. These hard times, they're close. And it's going to be awful. People are going to be eating people. I can't even imagine the fear. The fear of being killed by somebody else would be scary in of itself. Somebody trying to kill you is scary. But imagine knowing they're getting ready to eat you. I don't even know what to say. So, eyes open in California. Thank you. God bless you.